Hello, good evening everyone. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games. Welcome to Strange Invasion Assault on the Barrier Peaks, our D&D 5e campaign. Before we go around and meet everyone and their characters, Kienna and I would just like to cover some channel stuff real quick. First, a ton of thanks to our sponsor, Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools that you can run straight from your web browser for free. For free. Magic, magic, magic. We are part of their Spotlight program, which is how they help out indie creators in the TTRPG sphere. And yes, lots of thanks to them. Also, our new sponsor, Dice NB. If you like those physical click-clacks and those big chonky boys, these are dice. Those are words for dice. I know my hip lingo is too much for some, but yes, Dice. We are an affiliate with them. If you use our code at checkout, Salty Sweet, all caps, one word, you get 10% off and you help out the channel. Winning. They have a contest right now for affiliates and we want to win it. So if you want dice, they have a dice set right now called they restocked it, called America's Ass, and it's Captain America themed, and I want it bad. Okay, and moving on. What else do we have to talk about, Kienna?
We have donation options
down
below.
We have donation options. They're down there. You can use bits, or you can just click on the image. It'll take you to our Streamlabs tip jar. You can help the PCs, and you can help out the channel. Everything that we get from donations to sponsorships goes to channel upkeep, keeping the lights on around here, and eventual regular cast compensation. That's what we want to do. So you help us, you help the PCs. Win, win, win. I nailed it. I think that's all we have to talk about.
One last thing.
What?
Safety. Safety's a thing on this channel.
We do that now. We've
always done this.
We do the announcement now. I know what's happening.
So we here in Salty Sweet Games use safety tools behind the scenes, lines, veils, and X and an O cards, as well as content warnings, because no matter what happens to the characters, we want to make sure that all players are having fun. So you can check that out, more information in the TTRPG Safety Toolkit, all that good stuff. Now we're good. Yay. Now we can go talk to our friends.
Nailed it.
We should probably introduce who we are, who we're playing first, though.
Who are you? Who are you playing?
I'm Kienna. I'm the sweet of this channel. But today I am playing Ardent, the Azamar Paladin. I don't know how to describe them in one sentence yet, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They use she/they pronouns. I also use she/they pronouns.
Excellent. And I'm Lauren. I'm the salty half of this channel, and I'm playing Dulcinea, an Eladrin swashbuckler. She's a circus performer. She's trouble with a capital T. The end. Nailed it. Perfect. Nothing else. Nothing else to say. But let's meet other people who are not us, starting with Gnome. Hi, Gnome.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, good.
Good. Hi, yeah, my name's Gnome, and I'm going to be playing Idoso Farleaf, the Lightfoot Halfling Ranger Rogue.
Yay. And Jim.
Good evening, I'm Jim. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Devlin Archon, a dwarven wizard of the School of Angry Dirt, Abjuration, and he also uses he, him pronouns.
Fab. And last but not least, of course, our dungeon master, Allyson Robinson. Hello, hello, hello.
Good evening, everyone. It's Allyson, and I am your dungeon master. Welcome to Strange Invasion, Assault on the Barrier Peaks. Assault, folks. Assault.
It sounded like salt again.
Assault. Welcome. So glad that you are here, that you've come back, or are joining us for the first time for this grim expedition to the borderlands of fantasy and weird science. Without further ado, last time our heroes attempted to uncover the identity of the traitor in their midst, the one who had freed the ravenous creatures that Devlin called displacer cats from their strange enclosure. But though they were aided by Ardent's magical ability to compel the truth, none admitted to the act, including mercenary Captain Aeronoc Ladinion and reputed spy Cherry Redding, whom the party had suspected of the crime. Perhaps, as their host, Lady Bronwyn Barrelhelm, suggested, it was simply an accident of the enclosure itself. The other artifacts recovered from these unexplained attacks in the mountains had proven dangerously unpredictable, after all. Later, however, Devlin recalled having seen a similar effect to the one that magically snuffed out all the lights a long time ago, over a century ago, in fact, on a visit to the Unseelie Court. After the members of the second scouting party had retired for the evening, our heroes experimented with some of the other recovered artifacts. Idoso discovered that the pendant that he'd pocketed conferred the ability to leap forward in time by about a minute, apparently with no after effects. It was Dulcinea who solved the puzzle of the reality spike, a shard of metal shaped like a giant nail with the ability to adhere wherever it is actuated, even in midair. Working late into the night, Devlin and his friend and former comrade, Carith Grenelis, learned the workings of the Attractor, an artifact apparently of bone and steel with the ability to draw objects to itself from a great distance. The next morning, our heroes awoke and broke their fasts in preparation for a meeting with Lore Master Grenelis and Lady Barrelhelm, who would brief them and their counterparts on the territory to the north. But though the other scouting party's captain, Ryko Dorthin, gave no hint of any intent to depart early to Ardent when they'd spoken at breakfast, and though Planewalker Sithrel Fencaran told Idoso with a smile that she would meet him later at the briefing, they did not arrive. Soon, word reached the map room that they had already departed from the keep, presumably to get a head start on our heroes in the quest to discover the source of the brutal attacks that have beset the mountain outposts, and perhaps head off a second planar incursion. And so we find ourselves in the map room just as all of this information is coming to light. Well, that's highly unusual, Lady Barrelhelm says. It makes no sense to me. Why would they have left? I don't know. I can't think of any logical reason.
Ooh, I can.
Yes, Dulcinea.
Probably because someone in their party is guilty of releasing those beasts upon us.
Lady Barrelhelm sighs deeply. Perhaps, I suppose, it seems ridiculously unlikely. What did Aeronoc say you'd have to be a fool to do that. It could have cost the lives of all of us.
Right. Right. All right. Well, what were we all gathering here to talk about? What did they miss out on?
Well, and Barrelhelm looks to her lore master for a moment. Yes, we'd planned to brief you on what you could expect to find in your journey. I don't believe any of you, but Devlin, of course, have any familiarity with the lands north of here.
Yeah, and admittedly, for me, it's been a little while, so I was looking forward to the refresher.
Yes, Barrelhelm says, perhaps we should just carry on. Of course, my lady, says Grenolus. And at this point, he begins to point to a map that is on, it's painted on the wall of this room behind him. It's the map that you can see right now on our stream and in our Roll20. It's been nigh on 6 weeks since rumors first reached the crag of trouble to the north. It was a caravan of farmers taking their summer produce to the encampment at frozen fields. He points up on the wall. They saw that the bridge that was leading north here, that the bridge had been destroyed. Not washed out, mind you, but burned, or exploded even, perhaps. They sent a rider back here with the news and traveled on to the east toward the encampment at Frozen Fields. The rest of them, well, their families back here in the valley were expecting them 2 weeks ago. They've not yet returned. Devlin, you would know this, but the others of you, would you please make a history check for me?
Seven.
Hello, Roll20. Have you made them and we're just waiting for them to arrive? Yes. And one more.
I'm sure it'll continue this pattern of
I'm sure.
descent.
The information superhighway is somewhat jammed up this evening, it would appear, between D&D Beyond and Roll20.
Well, we got a 7 and a 6 so far.
Gnome, if you want to just make...
There it is. It's 18.
Hey, look at that. Nice.
Why did it do twice, though?
Who knows?
Devlin and Idoso, you're both aware of Frozen Fields. Ardent, Dulcie, you probably have heard the name, but you're not perhaps as familiar with what took place there. It is the site of one of the most infamous battlefields of the planar incursion. Devlin, in fact, you know...
Oh, is that the one? Is that where we did the thing?
I don't think it's the one, but it is...
Okay, all right.
But a terrible battle was fought there, yes.
Okay.
In fact, you would know it as a place where many of your dearest friends were lost.
Mm.
Yeah. And now it serves as an encampment for travelers who are moving to the east across the Tumbledown Mountains. Lady Barrelhelm picks up at this point and says, "We sent a detachment of mounted guard north as soon as we heard that the bridge to High Moraine was out, along with carpenters and masons to begin repairs. As you know, it's the only passable route to the northernmost outposts in winter, so it's critically important that it's passable. But en route, they noticed smoke rising from the west, from the direction of Mountainholm here. They decided to split their group. They sent half of the guard west to investigate. Remember, at this point, we had no indication of some new threat. We imagined perhaps a young dragon had made its way from the east to settle in the high peaks or something of that sort. When the guard arrived at Mountainholm, however, they found the settlement in flames. They managed to save about half of the buildings and much of the wall. Wymond Duarte is master at Mountainholm, and his family have protected the settlement there since before the war. He may have some information or assistance to offer should you decide to pass through." Pause to see if you have any questions or comments on what you've heard so far. Grenelis resumes. "The remainder of the mountain guard, along with the workers, arrived at the bridge here, where the runoff from frozen fields meets the Tumbledown. They arrived about 3 weeks ago to begin repairs. They managed to suspend a footbridge across the high gorge and sent a pair of scouts across to re-establish contact with the outpost at High Moraine. Only one of the pair returned a week later, wounded and raving, strange knights wielding some kind of powerful magic. The wounds in his side looked as though hot pokers had made them. They were seared straight through. He did not long survive. And since receiving this news, we've been going forward under the assumption that High Moraine here is either destroyed or occupied. Shall we risk another history check? Devlin, again, you get a pass on this one because of your...
Hey, natural 20. That's nice. That's nice.
A 2 from Idoso.
Hey, twinsies.
Another natural 20. Very nice.
Yeah.
High Moraine is an outpost that was built in the aftermath of the previous invasion. It was constructed to give early warning should another planar incursion take place. And in fact, with critical successes, all but Idoso would know that the incursion that occurred 115 years ago, that was the beachhead of the earlier invasion, was very near it was on the northern shore of Sleetfell Lake, to the west of High Moraine.
So I'm guessing no warning ever actually came from High Moraine this time.
No, none at all, Grenelis says. In fact, we've received no word from High Moraine now for 6 weeks.
They may be occupied.
Yes, Barrelhelm says that is our fear, and I think it would be wise for you to plan as though it were. The final attack that we know of, at least, well, we received word only a week before your arrival. Word of an ambush in the pass above Saxifrage here. A group of herders were bringing the late summer wool down here to sell, and were apparently set upon in these passes by some type of creature, perhaps more than one. Those who made it here said that the creatures had tunneled up out of solid rock beneath them. We know nothing of this world that's capable of such things. It may be, they may have imagined it. It may be the only explanation they have for a more natural ambush, but I fear the worst for the hamlets of the Saxifrage Valley, with no stronghold or fortification to run to in time of need.
Is there not room enough here?
Well, there's plenty of room, Dulcie, but it is a 2-week journey from here to Saxifrage, and we've heard, well, no word of any of the people of the valley making their way here. And if an attack came upon them suddenly, they're as likely to have fled into the nearby mountains as to have tried to make their way south.
So they've potentially taken every single settlement to the north of us that we have.
Well, Mountain Home remains in our possession. It is damaged, to be sure. And she looks to Grenelus, 2/3 of the wall or so intact. Yes, my lady, and they're working to repair it night and day. What worries me most, old friend, Grenelus says to Devlin, is the way in which we've learned of these events reveals little by way of pattern or purpose, which is why we'd hoped to send 2 scouting parties into the mountain. One of you could go to the east, the other to the west. But without knowing where Raiko is leading his group, we may lose that advantage.
At this kind of comment, Dulcie catches Ardent's eyes and just winks.
Ardent does not react.
You sure? Not a little from one of them? Just one wink from one eye?
No.
What about the neck eye?
It's not open.
I know. It's just really cool.
It's there, just not open.
Well, they don't have that much of a head start on us. If we rode hard, we could catch up and then plan from there.
Seems, wise.
Sound plan.
Thank you. Thanks.
I agree that you could perhaps catch them, though it may be that they are riding hard not to be caught.
Fair.
Regardless, you should not enter these mountains lightly. They are and have always been treacherous in times of peace and in times of war. They are. You should perhaps be cautious.
We will take this in the utmost seriousness that is required.
Barrelhelm nods with the respect that you've always seen her show to Ardent. Very well. Lore Master Grenolus will remain here to assist you in planning. Take what time you need, and let Commander Oakenbow know what gear and supplies you may need. He'll arrange things with the quartermaster. You'll have horses, of course. They'll be of some use in the Tumbledown River Valley and until you reach the bridge, at least. And what other supplies we have are, of course, yours.
Thank you, Lady Barrelhelm. It's very generous of you.
Of course. I will say my farewells now. I hope to see you all again here very soon. It will be a cause for great celebration when you return. And she approaches you, Ardent, with an arm out to take your hand.
Yeah, Ardent will take the offered hand.
Yeah. She takes you by the forearm and squeezes tightly, and looking you right in the eyes, and moves down the row of you. Who's next? Who's near Ardent?
Don't see which. Right by
No,
Ardent.
I wasn't. I was winking at you from across.
Right, okay.
So it's obviously not me.
Idoso will go ahead and shake her.
Yes. Best of luck to you, Idoso. May all your steps be true. And her look is earnest and almost penetrating as she looks into your eyes. She steps.
Is it settling?
She steps to you, Devlin. I'm sorry that it's come to this once again.
It is my purpose. We shall find these answers or not come back at all. And I put my hand forward.
She takes you by the forearm and squeezes tightly. May the fires of the forge burn brightly for you.
And also for you.
And lastly, she steps to Dulcie. Be careful, Dulcinea.
Okay.
And she holds her hand out to you.
Yes. I mean, I'm going to take her hand and somehow turn it into a dip and kiss her on the cheek.
She laughs a bit as she pulls away and touches her cheek. Farewell then. And she turns and makes her way out of the map room. And not long after she leaves, Commander Regic Oakenbow, who is the commandant of the guard, as you may recall from your first moments here, arrives in the room. The stables and armories are at your disposal, my friends. You simply need say the word.
Ardent does their respectful, appropriate bow.
Well, what y'all think we need? Winter clothes? It's gonna be chilly.
Oh, yes.
Winter clothes, rations, ways of water, ropes probably if we're to deal with that bridge or any other
Ooh, climbing gear.
crossing.
I'm definitely going to need some picks or something, just in case.
I can only
Yes.
fly a short distance and can't carry any of you that way, so.
Nice.
I'm curious to ask what supplies the other group took with them, if any.
Regic, here's your question. They were on horseback, and appeared to be loaded for expedition. To my knowledge, though, the supplies did not come from our quartermaster.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Right. Who else would be sending that team off, knowing what they know, knowing what we know? And they have some other suitor giving them some supplies? It seems a bit fishy to me.
How confidential is this information in the town?
Well, it's difficult to ride down the central street of the town, flying the flags of a captain of Isranthus, and be secretive about it. He has a bit of a smirk on his face.
I imagine that lad, Aeronach Ladinian, is a leader of a mercenary company, yes? Do they have their own supply chain?
Yeah. Ah, yes. Grenelus says a good thought, my friend. Perhaps that is where their supplies came from. Last I was aware, the Grey Company is quartered less than a day's march to the south.
Right, we should get ourselves sorted, and if we can catch up with them, we can catch up with them. But I'd rather we be prepared than rush.
There. There is, if we end up having time, I know there is someone due to arrive here today that I know that might be able to get more information for us, if it comes to it. We shall have to see.
What sort of information? Do you think it's worth waiting on, or do you think that we need to be heading out soon?
Yeah, that is the question. Apparently, she's been attending to matter in another land, but she does have resources here. She's let's just say runs something of an information network. That said, if you feel that if you feel we need to get going, we shall get going, because I'm all for that as well.
Well, it will take an hour, perhaps two, to gather the minimum of supplies that you'd need for the journey into the peaks.
Ah.
Tents, bedding, rations, cold weather gear as you've requested, climbing gear as well, I think someone said. Ropes and pitons and the like. Yes, Oakenbow says. I shall set the quartermaster to work on it right away. If you think of anything else, send them my way and we'll have it included. We'll move at our very best pace.
I'm going to hand over a small list that I have prepared, which Jim doesn't actually know what's on the list, but Devlin would, having been in that area. So stuff
Perfect.
for surviving in that area.
Snowshoes.
Perfect.
A sled? And some dogs, maybe?
Mm.
You might. Well, that's a good thought.
I don't quite know how cold it is up there.
You would know that the barrier peaks, which lie the furthest to the north on your map, where the snow begins up here, the barrier peaks are the equivalent of what you might of the Himalayas. They are some of the very highest mountains that are known in this world. In fact, they've never been successfully crossed to the north. It's unknown what lies beyond them to the north. So you will reach a point above the snow line not long before you get to high moraine. And there will be very little vegetation from that point forward, a great deal of ice and snow and storms and winds. And it's Regic Oakenbow, the commandant of the guard, who says there's usually there's a kennel of dogs and sledges at High Moraine for patrols, if they're still there and usable. It would be very challenging. We don't maintain sledges here at the crag, but perhaps you can find them as you're making your way north. And as Oakenbow now is turned to leave, he turns back. Rations. How many days of rations would you like to take with you? By way of reference, it's about a week's journey, about 5 days' journey to the bridge, or rather to the crossroads here, where you can turn to the east and go to Saxifrage, or west and go to Mountain Home. That's about 5 days. It begins to get very rocky at that point, so if you follow by the road, another 2 days to get to the bridge, and another 4 from there to High Moraine.
So...
And is there a spot then that we'd be able to restock, or is it just kind of preparing that we won't have the ability to restock?
Well, you can always forage or hunt along the way, at least until you pass the tree line. If you intend to pass through Mountain Home, you can restock there. There may be the possibility in Saxifrage, possibly, but we don't know what really to expect there.
Well, just from my experience of being out in the wilderness quite often, if you're going to be planning for any type of journey, it's best to have at least double what you need. Make sure that you can get there and back. So double that, times whatever how many of us are going, and the feed for the horse. It's a big journey. Up a very big hill.
Yes, it is. A big journey up a big hill, says Grenelis.
We need to, I suppose we should figure out if we're going to be taking any, because some of this is going to involve just heading up there and seeing what's, if we can figure out what direction they're headed, so we don't know entirely So, that being the case, worst case, we have to make it all the way up to... Do we want to say if we try at the very least, if we don't see anything by the time we get to the way off to Mountain Home, we should head there for a resupply, or should we just take enough to get us all the way up to High Moraine, just in case?
Yeah, just there and back, and I'm getting claustrophobic in this massive crag, so... What's your name? What's this man's name? Oakenbow.
Yes, milady?
Ha, nice. So yeah, enough for High Moraine and back.
Well, we'll plan for a fortnight for each of you. The horses can graze along the way, part way at least. Yes, we'll plan for that. And again, if there are other things, send word to the quartermaster. I'm off. And he leaves. So, what route shall you take, then? Grenelis says.
The shortest?
The north one.
And what is your goal? Will you investigate at any of the sites of these attacks? Do you plan to head straight to High Moraine? Will you strike out cross land to Sleetfell, or will you go to the east?
Kind of a bit intrigued as to what's going on over in the Sassafras area.
Sassafras.
I mean, if you don't even know, you haven't had a word back from folks up there, it might be at least getting some eyes set on it. It'd help us figure out whether we're going to keep heading up or send somebody back to let you know.
Yes. Milady is very concerned about the people of the Saxifrage Valley. There are 250, 300 people who make their homes there, mostly shepherds, the like, farmers.
It does strike me as what might be the outermost of where they've reached. Though it pains me to say it, if we are practicing in much the same way as we attempted back the first time around, that might be the way to save the most lives.
Yes.
As those are the ones that are still with us.
We'll make our way up north. Take a short detour over to Saxifrage. Hopefully need to spend no more than a day there. Hopefully get shelter, stock up on what we can. If not, then we know what to return back to with information. And then the plan would be to just continue up north.
Yes. Very good then. Is there anything else that you might be needing me for?
Do you got any more of those artifact things? Any cool little magic toys that might be able to help us on the journey up there? I mean, you can't really have enough of them.
Yes, that is true, Idoso, and yet, well, you've been luckier than most with them. They've proven to be difficult to understand, much less to master, and they...
Pretty sure we figured them out, and Idoso, hit to turn his eye.
Well, there he goes.
He'll be back in a minute.
Yes. Well, when he returns, may let him know that you have what we have, at least what was appeared to be usable.
Where were those recovered from again?
They were from different locations. That the pendant and the rod were found at Mountain Home, at the site of the attacks there. The spike found near the wreckage of the bridge. But of course, the fourth intact artifact was the enclosure, and unfortunately, well, I'm not certain where Aronach discovered that. He, as you know,
Aronach discovered that.
Yes,
Yes.
and brought it back. He's already made one scouting trip into these mountains, but not far. Perhaps to the crossroads before returning. He had mentioned that to you the night before.
All right. Okay. Let's do this. Let's wait another hour or two and then let's go.
Any of you need anything from the armory, this would be a good time to grab anything. No, you all look like experienced in stuff like this, and I assume you have your weapons of choice on hand already.
Mm-hmm.
And so, is there anything else that you'd like to do over the course of the next, while you're waiting for things to be gathered?
No.
I doesn't have anything in particular.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Idoso would just be ranting about Cithral's betrayal.
I would be giving, friendly noises of commiseration.
We shared maple syrup together. I just don't understand. She seems so sweet and so kind. She didn't even want to go. She wasn't ready. They did. I bet you she was coerced. That's it. By the one with the stick up his arse.
It ends up being about 90 minutes before an attendant comes to retrieve you, and he leads you out to the courtyard in front of the keep, where a train of 7 horses have been gathered, for one for each of you, and 3 more to carry supplies. A quick check verifies that everything you've requested, including all of the things on Devlin's list, are present. The horses have feed bags that are just being taken off of them and strapped into saddlebags, and it's only Regic Oakenbow who's waiting for you there in the courtyard as you come out and as you inspect the train. Are you sure there's nothing else then?
Oakenbow, is there something you think we should be taking that we're not?
No, nothing that I can think of, my lady.
I like you. Solid. Reliable.
I'm just going to step up and take Oakenbow's hand in a familiar handshake, warrior's grip. With a slightly apologetic look on their face for the last hour.
Yeah. He smiles and nods in a way that you know he understands exactly what you're trying to express. Good luck. Come back alive now.
We'll try our damnedest.
Can I assume there has been no sign of Isabel at this point, that she's not made it back yet?
Not yet.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right.
So you mount your horses and begin to set off down the winding path from the crag to the valley below. Yes, Dulcie?
Okay, so as soon as we're outside of the city walls, I kind of ask everyone as we're riding, so we're bailing now, right? Bail? Bail?
We're going on the road, yes.
Okay, you're not picking up what I'm putting down. Idoso, bail?
No, why would we go bailing? There's so many crazy things that are happening out there. We've got to go see them at least. And if it doesn't quite work out, maybe if it's a little too dangerous, we can always just kind of
Bail.
bail.
You do what you like. I'm going to have to get up there. I'll go by myself if I have to.
Cool.
No.
Good to know.
No, why do you got to say something like that? What's so important up there for you? You got like a secret mission?
Were you waiting for your girlfriend back there? I couldn't tell.
You've got a girlfriend, Devlin.
She's not.
Why didn't you tell us?
We would have waited if you had told us.
Yeah, good smooch
Doesn't-
before
she-
it goes.
doesn't
Usually
matter.
good luck.
No, she's clear. No, she has plenty to worry about on her own. No, it's not.
Good kisser.
Was just going to head up there. I need to. This is the purpose behind my order, my existence, is to prevent incursions of exactly this kind. So that's why I've got to get up there.
Oh, he has a purpose, Idoso.
Ooh, the last time that I knew a man who had a purpose, he didn't really have a life.
Yeah.
Let's focus your energy on what's going to come up ahead.
I'll admit there are trade-offs.
As you reach the point at which the road to the crag intersects with the north-south road, you hear the sound of trumpets ringing out from the crag and across the valley, and you look back and see all of the banners of Clan Barrelhelm waving in the breeze. It's a brighter day today, and you know that the lady herself is having the trumpet sounded and the banners flying to send you off.
See, Dulcie, they shouldn't have left before us. They didn't get that.
And as you're turning to the north, you see another rider coming up the south road. And as the rider catches sight of you, the horse breaks into a gallop. It's not long before
It's his girlfriend.
before Devlin, you see Ezekiel Infles, former Hearth Warden and now spy master of House Eleniel, a member of the court at Hisranthas, who has arrived perhaps just in time, and she rides up until she is alongside you.
Just immediately going to reach out. You will notice that as she is riding up, that this is another Aasimar. She also has 4 eyes. She is pretty old. She's looking at this point. She has probably silver hair. And just look up. They said you were coming. I didn't know if I was going to get to see you again.
Right. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Devlin. I'm sorry I was delayed. Court drama. Hello, all of you. You must be the scouts that Barrelhelm is sending north. I'm glad to have found you just in time.
I'm going to basically. I take her hand, perhaps clutching it a little more furtively than he thinks he is, and he will say that there. Be careful. There's treachery afoot up there. There has been. I say, just sort of looking back at the keep. I don't know if you've heard. I don't know. Granted, I mean, you've just been on the road, but
she looks at you with
the ways.
Yeah, she has a twinkle in her eye that has not faded, despite all the years and entrapment on a demi-plane far away. That old twinkle is still there. She says, "Well, of course I know, Devlin.
Of course."
I'm sad to say, though, I have no idea who your saboteur might be. Although we were, most at least, were surprised by Mistress Redding's departure for the Northlands. She's not known for her eagerness to be off on adventures, as you know, at least those that don't include feasting tents and warm, dry beds.
Any clue she might be, if she's doing any side work for anyone these days?
Well, we've wondered that for some time, but no solid evidence. Her family, of course, are making very much of her being here. Proof of her devotion to the realms and their people, etc. It's all balderdash, of course. But as to what her true agenda might be, I'm afraid I have no idea. The young soldier, Aranok, though.
Yes.
I'm quite wary of him. The Grey Battalion isn't known for their unimpeachable morals, of course, but for winning, regardless of cost. There have been some rumors of power struggles within the battalion, and others of Aranok having incurred some significant debt, perhaps for gambling, but not at all surprised to see him here, but be wary of that one.
We were thinking maybe they were the ones that supplied them. They took off this first thing this morning.
That surprises her, and though she doesn't say, you know, she's very rarely surprised.
We're just setting off now to see if we can catch up to them.
Who else was with them?
Ryko Dorthin, captain of the...
Of course.
And Cithril Van Karen. Planeswalker.
What was that name again?
And I actually turned to Idoso at this point because I think Idoso knows them better, possibly, or someone here knows them better. Cithril Van Karen? Am I saying that right? The others.
Fen Karen. I've never heard of her before today. If she is the Fen Karens of the hill countries, her people hold fealty to House Bunce, but it would take me some time to confirm that. Planewalker, you say?
That's what she advertised herself as.
Those who cut paths through the plains often gather trouble in their wake. And she turns to you, Idoso. Don't they? Master Farleaf?
I mean, that just depends on the type of trouble, or how do you want to define the word. It's usually just adventure. That's how I like to put it.
Her horse whinnies and shakes a bit in the under the saddle. I'm afraid I don't have much more to share with you, old friend.
Well, be wary. There's a family of creatures in a cage that they've got there. And right now, only 3 of us can open it. I managed to lock it, but it's a strange origin, not something I've ever seen on this world.
I've heard the same. I'm eager to see it. I'm off then. Best of luck to you all. And she waves as she
grip her hand a little bit once more, and then I will release.
She rides up the switchback hill up to the crag, and you are on the road north to the Tumbledown River. How about we have a little bit, we can change our music here, shall we? Yes. Let's see what we have here. So the road follows the Tumbledown, which even here in the mountain foothills runs cold and clear. As you climb down from the crag, and initially you can see the snow-capped barrier peaks on the horizon, but by the time you've made it down to the river's edge and you've turned to the north, those distant peaks have vanished behind rocky crags that are covered in evergreens. The valley is wide here. There are verdant fields shining in the sun on both sides of the river. And at this point, I need to know your marching order, please. What's the order that you're riding in? Remember, there are the 4 of you on horseback and 3 additional pack horses with you.
Oh, go ahead.
No, Ardent's probably leading.
Dulcie's probably right after then.
I guess I'll go third.
I'll definitely take up the rear.
Do we want the other horses in the middle?
Yeah.
In between Dulcie and Devlin, then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Good. So, as I said, the river valley is wide here. There are fields on both sides. The road is fairly well traveled at first. Occasionally, you pass a small farm. In fact, about midday on this, or mid-afternoon on this first day, there's a small farm off to the right of the road. And as you get closer, a young human girl and an even younger boy rush out to the fence, and they wave as you pass by. The river babbles. Go ahead.
I'd probably, at the very least, call out to them as we're, like, letting the horses drink or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Oi, kitties, have you seen any, others traveling up this way? A group of just mean, ugly-looking people, like 4 of them.
One of them had a large flag on his horse.
One was a ginger.
Yes, they passed by this morning.
Were they riding fast?
They were.
Which one was riding up front?
The one with the flags that you said, the flags.
Right.
You may have helped save all the realms, children.
And they're a bit awestruck. and not quite sure what to do with themselves or with you.
Excellent. That's just how I like it.
I think we'll give a nod of thanks to the kids and start going again.
Yeah, the river is babbling to your left, and then to your right as you cross over at the first bridge, and the sun has melted the light snow that fell yesterday, even as the mountains are looming up ahead of you like a wall of rock. You travel most of this first day in relative peace. In fact, it's warm again, seasonably warm. You can almost feel the summer as it's here at its end and the beginning of autumn. And by the end of the first day of travel, you come upon some ground that is sort of a wider meadow. You can see there are hoof prints and even some wagon ruts, a fairly common place to pull off of the road. And we're kind of ending the day about right here on your map after a hard day's travel. Devlin, you would probably know enough to know that this is a fairly common first night encampment, although you don't see any signs of anyone camping here as you approach from a distance.
It's usually where you'd set camp, but I don't think anyone has. Not recently, that I can tell.
You think they're riding overnight?
That'd be pretty foolish.
Twould.
No light, cold, creatures.
Might be trying to push, even if not overnight, to another less ideal encampment spot. I kind of want to see if there are other hoof prints that seem to be continuing on this way, that are fresh.
Yeah, that sounds like a tracking attempt, so a survival check would be what I think we'd be looking
well,
for
I'm not
here.
great at this. You know, we have a rage for a reason, but it's
Hey, you wanted to do it!
Hey,
Yep.
it's pretty good.
still pretty good.
Yeah, you do find fresh hoof marks of looks like a train of with a dirty 20 at somewhere between 5 and 10 horses, and you would estimate sometime in the last 6 hours, making their way out of this common encampment further to the north.
They still kept going. Still straight.
What if we? Yeah, I think you were muted, Jim.
He was talking to himself.
Yep.
He was just saying, I wonder what they were aiming at.
Right. I mean, listen, I'm not tired. Right? Had a good night's sleep. What if we just, it's not like we're chasing them per se. But, catching up to share information. Ugh. I don't know what that's about, Allyson. She just rolled something for those of you who cannot see.
I'm sure it's nothing.
So we're stopping. We're gonna let them get even more of a start on us.
Well, there's a trade-off here.
I mean, is it really that important that we catch up to them?
They're sketchy, Idoso.
Yeah, but they're the one that's being foolish.
Or,
Rushing ahead, not getting all the information.
or do they know something we don't?
It's the sound of the evening birds in the air. The river babbles behind you, and the sun is just about to dip below the peaks to the west.
Good. And we could press ahead if need be.
And
And
we're
I
going
just
to
sort of
need a
look-
light, because unlike all of you cute faces, I can't see in the dark.
Mm.
I don't know if the horses can either.
I'll just sort of nod to Ardent. No. I'll follow your lead on this.
Why?
Well, she's appointed our leader.
I forgot that. That tidbit.
Press forward for a bit more. We got to the point where they would have had to stop for encampment overnight. We haven't seen them. Make another decision from there.
You figure you have another hour of twilight before it becomes truly dark. And I'd like to know, as you move forward, are you moving forward? Are you just planning to stay on the road, or are you also going to continue to try to track them forward?
I think Ardent's going to continue checking to see if the tracks go off anywhere.
Okay. All right. So let's say that you travel for about another hour through the waning twilight. And can you make another survival check for me?
Cool. I'm going to use one of my advantages for this.
And while she's doing that, can I actually cast Primeval Awareness?
Yes, you can. Tell us,
It's dark.
Idoso, about Primeval Awareness.
Primeval Awareness, I mean, it's a ranger thing. I can sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, or undead are present within 1 mile of us, or within up to 6 miles if you are in your favored terrain. I don't remember what my favorite terrain was. Did I ever write that
I'm
down?
positive it had to be mountains.
Mountains.
I think
I'm
I played that
Almost
smartly.
certain.
Where is it written?
You know, just have me a campaign. Send mountains.
Oh, it is.
my-
It's definitely
In the
mountains.
peaks.
Have my
Definitely
favorite terrain be desert.
Of course it is.
You know.
Wow, I forgot this whole other page where it says features and traits. Like, natural explorer is a thing. Cool. I've never played a ranger, so forgive me for not
Welcome.
casting Hunter's Mark or Pass Without a Trace or any other ranger type things.
Why would you do that?
Why? Rangers are silly.
Good. So, did I get that survival roll from Ardent
Not yet.
for tracking?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that.
Hey, now
Great.
20.
And what level were you casting at, Idoso?
Oh, level 1.
Yeah,
I have,
okay.
I have 2 level 2 spell slots. Those are
Okay.
emergencies only.
Yeah. So you have, and were you casting that as you set out from this encampment?
Yeah, probably. Just on the
Yeah.
loose. It's
Good.
something he probably does often.
So you cast the spell, and you become immediately aware of almost another world around you. And when it comes to... hold on just a second. Let me check something.
Oh no.
Oh, good.
I just want to make sure that I'm giving you exactly the right information.
Mhm.
Give me just a moment.
Hey, Devlin. How come you didn't kiss your lady? You might not be making it back.
It's not. It's been a long time. It's not. It's been a long time, and there was. She spent a long time in a place that was very much not like this. And it's not been quite the same between us since.
But you were squeezing her hand so furtively.
Right, then why would you just let that chance go?
On very different paths at this point. There's no point in stirring anything up. She's fine where she is. So no need for anything to happen to her again.
Well, you're just a sourpuss, aren't you?
And you may be on different paths, but obviously your paths just intersected. Literally. And figuratively. Both.
I don't know about you, Dulcinea, but most people don't suddenly decide to kiss another person they haven't seen in however long in a potentially fraught relationship, unless it was certain it would be taken very well.
So I'm going to assume that Ardent's crouched and tracking. So I'm going to silently walk up very close next to them, waiting for them to stand up.
Okay.
So we'll be nose to nose. Well, my forehead to their chin.
Okay.
Thanks. I just wait for you to stand up once you're done.
Okay. I kind of want to. I don't know if Ardent notices or not.
Don't notice.
Roll insight? Perception?
I'm so quiet.
Are you okay if I just roll a perception? I just want to know for
Sure.
my own sake.
Sure. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. 20.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So Ardent will stand up. What, Dulcinea? Do you acquire something?
No, I was just trying to check on something. Trying to decide something.
Right. Ardent's gonna walk away.
I'm gonna follow them.
Idoso, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary for the mountainous foothills as you reach out with your primeval awareness, and you're able to continue tracking them for another hour if you'd like. Be aware, though, that you are now in complete darkness.
We do have torches, if perhaps that will help.
I mean, at this point, I might as well just walk in the middle if we're going to keep going. Just tie the reins to the other horses, and I'll just take a nap over here while you all have fun. Because I can't see shit.
I'm just basically wrapping up a torch and lighting a torch.
If Idoso can't go forward, we might as well stop. And we could just double our pace tomorrow.
Hopefully they haven't diverged anywhere.
I can't decide if they're sketchy or plain stupid.
If I have to make a guess right now, they're working off of Aeronoc's information. He's been out here before. He's made a recovery before. He had his band right outside. He would already know what he would need to go out. He would be familiar with the area. Just the additional mission of finding out what happened all the way up north.
Right, so they probably aren't going to divert to Mountain Home or Saxifrage unless they need to restock, and they won't know what to expect there if they do.
It's either that or they're going back to the site that Evanoc recovered that enclosure. He's the only one that knows where that was exactly. And apparently he and the group that he was part of were the only ones to know what was there. If the devices are like this, and kind of gesture to the rod that is stuck in their saddlebag. It seems potential motivation.
All right, let's make camp and not worry about them and just get a good night's rest.
Right.
Just for some shits and giggles, can I also, if we're going to be sitting down, cast Detect Portal? Just, you never know when one kind of pops up.
Absolutely.
Jim and I just doing this at the same time.
It's adorable.
Absolutely.
The universal portal popping motion.
So it's the closest planar portal within 1 mile.
Yes. What does it look like when Idoso does this?
I think for this, it's more of like an internal thing, right? So if they're like setting up camp or whatever and rolling out some, like sleeping bags, I think he just kind of like sit on top his for a bit and close his eyes. And when he kind of goes into this almost like a meditative state, right? It's almost like a form of echolocation. So he just kind of like sends out this energy and waits to hear if the energy bounces off something. And then if it does, it pings like sonar. So you can like, see this like vivid yellowish, type thing if it's for like the airplane or a purplish for like the Fae, wild, stuff like that.
As you sit and turn your attention first inward, you feel the cold of the autumn night's wind beginning to blow through the copse of trees where you're setting up your camp. You silence your mind to the sounds of the others as they're setting up tents and perhaps a fire. And you send out this ping, and almost immediately returns come back, and it's as if they are everywhere around you. It's more dense than you've ever known or imagined. But then after a split second, that completely disappears. And as you reach out again, there is nothing.
Oh, that was weird. Dulcie, can I borrow you for a moment?
Sure.
Great. So, okay. So you know the thing that I can kind of do, that basically let me go and say hi to you when we were like, Wayne. So I do that pretty regularly, and I just did it now, and there's like, I've never seen so many portals in such a small range. It's like somebody set fire to the fire in the wow words in a different fake accent that I can't do. Good mouth fumble there. It was like somebody set fire to the entire forest. The whole place lit up. I've never seen anything like it before. But then it was gone. I tried again and there's nothing. That's not normal.
Are these the kind of things you can see?
Not quite see. I mean, they just kind of get a gist of where the location is, and then you got to go to the location and then kind of sit there for a moment and meditate. Others are pretty wide open. I mean, visiting you was just making sure that there was a ring of mushrooms. It's a pretty big signifier that, we're heading off to the Feywild, but sometimes it looks like a little rift in time, and other times you have to spend the time to try to find these places and then figure out how to even get in.
Well, where was the closest one?
Everywhere.
No, but like the closest one.
Where was the closest
Yeah, where was the closest one, Allyson?
It was right on the edge of your camp near where the horses are.
Oh god. Okay, great. There?
Oh, okay, let's go check it out.
Alright, we'll go check it out. Grab one of the torches to take with.
Ardent's been probably setting a fire and just watches these two for a second.
We're friends.
Did we overhear any of that, or was that aside?
How quiet were y'all?
So quiet. Don't you know that people with these kinds of voices are often very quiet?
They're very
Quiet.
typically the most quietest.
The quietest folks.
And in the middle of the woods.
Hey, Dulcie, did you
Where
see
there's
that?
no
There was a
background
portal
noise.
over there.
Oh, Portali!
Yay! Like one of the biggest portals I ever saw.
Do you know what our stealth scores are, you rascally paladin, you?
We are really good at stealth. That's the thing.
We're projecting for the audience, Kienna.
Yeah, okay.
We're just walking across the camp holding hands now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, cool.
As you approach, Idoso, again, it's you sense nothing. You sense nothing there at all. Where your ability to sense portals would, there was just one moment it was as clear as day, and then the next it was like it just buzzed out of existence and there was nothing at all nearby.
Was there like a color, or was it all the same type of signals that he's known and seen before, or something he's never seen before?
It was chaotic. In fact, it was so chaotic that it was almost like static.
I just start reaching out with my hands.
Yeah, he's like kicking like some dirt and pushing over some stones and like waving the torch around. It's like they lost like a contact lens or something.
Yeah, now we look conspicuous.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
Yes, you probably do.
We pause again, the fire making.
You sort of lean over to Ardent. Is that a game that he likes to play?
I don't think so.
Dulcie, you don't find anything, and Idoso, neither do you with your kicking or scavenging about. But I will I would love for you to make what is it? Wisdom? Is that? Yeah. Why don't you make a wisdom check? Just a wisdom check, straight wisdom for me here.
Straight up wisdom. Oh boy.
Strong 8 from a.
Did you intend to use an advantage there, or
No, I mean, but since you asked, I do have 2. Let's do it.
Do
All right.
Heard that. Sorry, I don't know why it's doubling up all of my rolls like that. Maybe
as you? No problem at all. But as long if you want to use one, we'll take that 14 then.
yeah, for sure. Might as well.
You know, you recall some of the conversations happening about the previous the war that took place here over a century ago, and that the source of the invaders in that war was a massive planar incursion. It occurs to you that perhaps what you've experienced is some kind of static or echoes of that massive tear in the plains that took place all those years ago, that it's still creating some kind of interference. Perhaps it's echoing off of the mountains or some odd effect like that. But it's the best explanation you can come up with for what you've experienced now that you've had a chance to investigate it a bit.
Okay. I think Idoso kind of like relay that to Dulcie, less intelligibly though. It's a little big brain for him.
So it's like this entire place is like Swiss cheese.
Basically, or just something where an echo just keeps on bouncing and it's maybe non-existent anymore, but there's still some sort of remnant. Yeah, it's a bit concerning, honestly. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, maybe we just slowly back away. Give it some space.
Oh, yeah.
You know, give it some respect.
There's something we should be looking for.
No, that was a new dance. Do you want to try it with me, Ardent?
I'm alright, thank you.
Okay. Devlin? Do you want to try the dance?
Oh, sure. Why not?
All right.
Stands up.
Okay, so the first thing you do is you huddle together. Come huddle with me. Yeah, we're both pretty short, so this works.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you kick the dirt as you walk forward, and I do my arms like this. Good. And then you huddle again. Huddle. And then you back up. You back on up. Back up. You back on up. Good. And then you just repeat that. Ad infinitum.
Oh. Do I have it right?
Right, so huddle, you kick. Yeah. It's good.
And as the fire begins to blaze and the tents are set up, you settle in for your first night in camp. How do you plan to pass the nights? Will you set a watch tonight?
I feel like Ardent would strongly suggest a watch.
Yeah, I can definitely take part of it because I just have to meditate.
If you would let me know the order in which you set your watch, and then in the future we'll assume that you're using that order unless you tell me you want to change it.
Feels as though there's a time in the morning that I usually prepare spells, so I will probably already be up for that.
So I guess you'll take last watch then.
Yeah, I think that'll work.
Ardent will probably take first.
I can go next.
Yeah, I'll take second to last because that'll be really late and I'll be rested by then.
Okay, so Ardent, Idoso, Dulcie, and Devlin. Good. All right. Let's just for fun.
What?
Let's just see what
Just for
happens.
fun.
Just for fun.
Just for
Funsies.
fun.
Oh. I'm gonna just go back to our faces so everybody can see this. There's a 19 and
Thank you. Yes.
59 and
So the-
27.
The night
Nice.
passes peacefully, and Devlin, as the sun rises, you awaken the others. The light breakfast is made. The horses are fed.
I have coffee ready for them in the morning for anyone who wants it.
And you take up your camp.
Let's go.
Moving forward then,
Yes.
Yep.
and continuing on the road. Are you continuing to try to track, or
Yeah.
tell me?
Yeah, I'm continuing to.
You want me to help you track?
Yes, please.
Tag team this?
Good. Yeah. So why don't we just start off with some survival rolls?
Got an 18.
Yep. Good. Ardent, are you going to be?
I will still roll
Yeah.
15.
Okay. Good. Yeah. The path is still fairly clear moving forward. They've, or at least a large group on horseback has been this way in the last 24 hours or so. And the day passes much as the previous one. You begin to climb higher into the mountains. You don't see any farms or settlements at this point. It's just mountains and road, and the valley will narrow some, and then it will widen back out and narrow, but climbing, always climbing. By the end of the second day, you pass a large cataract, and there is a campground here where others before you seem to have camped. But again, the hoof marks pass through this campground that you reach near the end of the second day. You know you've made up some time, but they're not here. They're still riding forward. If this is indeed them that you're tracking.
Does it, for them, does it look like they've stopped at all so far?
Yeah, there are certainly places where they've stopped, and yeah, thank you. You did find about halfway through the day a place where they appear to have, or someone at least appears to have hastily camped for the night. A close inspection of the campground didn't turn over any. It seemed to be swept pretty clean, aside from the signs of a fire and horse manure where the horses were tied. And in fact, you travel onward like this through the end of this day. And again, it comes to nightfall and twilight begins. Do you want to keep going, or?
I mean, I would think so. Y'all, like, going until we absolutely have to stop.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think that's the
Yeah.
plan.
I think every night, too, I'd like to just burn Detect Portal Primeval Awareness
Yeah,
before we make the decision to either keep going or stop.
good. Yeah, as you travel on again through the twilight until darkness falls, and at which point you're no longer really able to track effectively. It also, when you cast, when you reach out to detect portals, It's very similar to what you experienced the previous night. There's a flash where it seems as though there's portals everywhere, and then they all fade and there's nothing. And you've now sensed this several times, and you're beginning to understand it as some kind of an echo, probably from this planar incursion of nearly a century ago, larger than anything ever known before or since. But no signs of any of those types of creatures that you would be able to detect at least within 6 miles of you. And, by this point, we are, call us right here at the end of the second day. You've traveled to what would be the third encampment on the northernmost road.
Do we have an estimate based on what Idoso and Ardent have been doing of how far behind them we are?
I think it was well, with an 18, let's say that you do. As the last light of the sun is fading, Ardent and Idoso are off of their horses and down looking for tracks. At this point, they still seem to be hours ahead of you. How many is really, really hard to say. But they're probably not right around the corner.
Oh, heck. Okay. So I'm actually reading the description of Natural Explorer. That would be the smart thing to do. We are technically in my favorite terrain. And it does say that you find twice as much food foraging, and while tracking creatures, you learn the exact number, sizes, and how long they passed through the area.
Okay, cool. Then let's call it 7 horses. And by what you're able to see at the encampments, 4 separate individuals.
Okay, so just reaffirming what we thought instead of it being like,
that's good.
It's another group. Okay.
Yeah, and cool. And probably 6 hours, maybe a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
So, idea. Idoso, you could ride with me, and we just keep going till we catch up with them. Because they've obviously stopped from what you all have seen, so they're going to stop.
At that point, it might be worth it.
Right.
Is that a yes?
Yes, that's a yes. We'll push forward.
Okay, all of you are going forward together, or Dulcie, was your plan for just 2 of you to go? Sorry, I didn't.
Oh, no, I was thinking we would all go. Surprise them.
Okay. So you're going to continue in the darkness?
Yes.
Although 3 of you have dark vision.
Yes, and Idoso's riding with me.
Okay, so Idoso's horse, you're not leaving anything behind, you're just going forward. Okay, cool.
Cool. Do the horses need us to light torches or anything for them, or are we good?
Yeah, the horses are going to be very skittish. The road is still wide here, although it is up and down hills and back and forth across ridges and so forth. But without some kind of light, they're probably going to get a bit skittish.
Yeah, we can definitely light torches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, simple enough.
All right, so you're going to continue riding into the night. I'd like for you to make your survival checks for tracking every hour at this point because of the darkness. So if you want to begin to make those.
My bonus is doubled.
Yes.
Because it's my favorite terrain. So
Okay.
I don't know how to make it so, but just add
add
another
3.
5. Oh, great.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're a halfling. You can't roll a 1.
Wait, really?
You're a
Yes.
halfling. You're lucky.
You have natural luck. Natural luck.
Natural luck.
Yeah,
Reroll ones.
Great. I love you. Aw, thanks. So normally I play gnomes.
Yeah.
This is all very new for me. So cool. Natural luck. I really need to read the features and traits section. I'm gonna do that in between streams.
Teamwork.
Yeah,
Teamwork.
great.
All right.
There we go.
Okay.
And you add 3
Add
to that.
3,
So
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna use another advantage.
yeah.
'cause I
Okay.
have them.
Hey.
All right. Idoso, you lose the trail briefly, but Ardent is able to keep it for the first hour. Let's do this again for hour number 2, please.
All right, I'm gonna use.
Survival.
Yes, no problem.
Yeah.
Found it again.
You're like, wait. There it is.
Paradise Lost. Found it.
Another, you can go ahead. You're able to keep the trail.
Okay.
You get to
I will-
reroll that.
Oh, yeah. Reroll it.
See, now I just gotta learn the mechanic.
It's a 17.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're good. All we need is for one of you to make it for 3 more times.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
this
next.
is fine. This is fine.
So I'm just gonna roll 3 at
Yeah.
once.
Okay, that
One.
looks good.
2,
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
You just gotta make 1, baby.
Me?
What I want you to make 3, but you need to make the second
Oh,
one.
you're right.
in
You're
order,
right. You're right.
In order not to lose the
Okay,
trail. and
so roll that first one, and then the second one I'm going to burn an advantage on.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey.
Yay!
And the third one.
That was worth it.
Okay,
Okay, cool. We make a good tracking team, Ardent.
Yeah, we both keep just losing it, and the other one's like, wait, it's there.
Very nice.
Back and forth.
It's well after midnight, closing in on 1 o'clock in the morning, and you've been doing this now for close to 6 hours in the darkness. The horses are exhausted, and you're beginning to feel the exhaustion as well. But it's Idoso who first smells a hint of smoke on the air. There's wood fire. You would estimate, by the way, that you're right about here. Smoke from a wood fire. You have been riding through trees, but you break out of them as you climb up the upward spine of one of the tumble down mountains, and as you get to the top, you see a boulder field that stretches out kind of on a slight downhill slope into a more dense forest of evergreen trees ahead of you. And it looks as though on the edge of that forest there is a fire, perhaps a small campfire burning, but it is at this point about 200 yards ahead of you across this boulder field. And this is where large pieces, big chunks of the rock of the mountains have rolled down over the years, a number of landslides. And there are boulders here that are as big as your horse. There are some that are as big as a house. and large hillocks even bigger than that. But the road does lead across this boulder field down to where where there appears to be an encampment on the edge of this evergreen forest.
Do you want me to scout ahead? I could go pretty quietly.
Well, you can't see.
That's very true, but I can see what the light is.
True. Maybe we go together. We'll just make sure it's them and see if they're, sitting around twirling their villainous mustaches or anything like that.
Of course. Also see what kind of disposition they're in, whether they're on high alert or relaxed.
Sure. And we definitely won't make any decisions without first coming back and consulting you, Ardent. Straight face.
Press
blank.
X to doubt.
Blank face.
Right.
Just pressing D to doubt several times. But
Are you going on horseback?
No.
Oh, they're 200 yards away. Do you want me to cast Pass Without a Trace?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do I want you to cast Pass Without a Trace? Yes.
That puts us at an automatic 19.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's have fun.
Let's do it. Let's be who we are.
All right.
I will go in front because I can see.
All right. And it also casts his spell, and you begin to move forward, and it's almost as if they're not even there. As they set forth, Ardent and Devlin, I need you both to make stealth checks, please.
Oh yeah, wait, I need to do that.
okay.
39? 39 is my stealth check, Allie. 39.
Fuck.
39.
Yeah, I think you're pretty good.
Yeah.
I
cool.
can't
think you're
see you.
pretty
You
good.
disappeared. Dulce, sweets, where'd you go? You're too good at this.
Ardent and
Bright
Devlin, could you
pink.
both make?
Yeah.
Could you also both make stealth checks for me?
I should also note that I have missile armor, so I don't have disadvantage on this. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Trying to find the
sweet.
thing.
Beautiful.
Heavy metal armor without stealth disadvantages.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
So, Dulce, Idoso, you close about half of the distance, and Ardent and Devlin are waiting behind for you. Jim, what is it that gives Devlin away?
I think that it's probably that this is as we're sort of we're just standing there in the dark, right? Is that it's probably just I think he coughs or something. It's like there's a thing that comes up. It's like that
Yeah.
he it just sort of catches him and like
Yes. And as you do, it of course it's not that loud. It's not that loud at all, but it feels as though it is. And you hold every breath and every muscle for a moment. And there's silence. And the silence grows. But I'd like a perception check from everyone, please. Perhaps our last rolls of the evening.
From everyone?
Everyone.
Natural 20, 27.
And
It's good to be a rogue.
Dulcie hears it, but very soon everyone sees it. And it's not from the encampment that's ahead of you, but it's from behind one of those, one of the largest of the boulders that is up the hill from you, up the ridge of the mountain from you. It looks like the whole boulder is moving. But then, as your eyes adjust, you see that that's not what it is, but that it is, in fact, some kind of a giant humanoid who begins to rise up from behind a rock, and then another, and then another, and then another. And that's where we'll end for this evening.
Cool. Yes, good.
This is
It's just a scouting party of hill giants. I'm sure it's going to be fine.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're not terrible.
They can't see me.
That's all. We're fine.
We're fine. Okay.
A whole scouting party.
Just a casual scouting party.
Remember, these mountains are perilous even in the best of times. Oh, what a blast. I am so grateful to get to do this with you. Wilderness adventures and exploration adventures are fun. They are a little bit different than a dungeon crawl or some kind of an adventure in urban terrain. But you are well on your way into the wilds of the Barrier Peaks and just beginning to get a taste for what may await you. Let's hear just a little bit from our players, and then I'll hand it back to Lauren and Kienna to close us out for the evening. Gnome, how'd you do tonight? What do you think? Tell us where we can find you on your favorite terrain, the internet.
Yeah, that's genuinely. If I were a ranger, the internet would absolutely be my favorite terrain and my only terrain, and also trolls would be my favorite enemy. My name is Gnome. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Nomadic. I do TTRPG things in TTRPG spaces. I don't know. I'm here every Monday, but I'm also on my channel with. I don't know where you are. I don't have the screen
I'm above
open.
you.
Wherever you're above me. Hey, with Lauren, playing some Tales from the Loop. We've got 2 episodes left of our little mini campaign, and I am super excited. They're about to get themselves kind of caught in a whirlwind of trouble, and it's going to be great. You can also check out every morning I do a morning show with Eris Savad called Lone Brew, and we just talk shit. And give out positive affirmations to everybody and drink coffee and dab a lot. Like, just there's so much dabbing, you guys. So much dabbing. Thursday nights I'm over on Unmade Gaming's channel playing Coriolis, and Fridays you can catch me GMing Lost Mines of Phandelver campaign on the Cantrip Breakers channel, which is just super fun because I love that campaign. I love that campaign so much. It's so good.
Awesome. I've been meaning to check out Gnome Brew. I have been, and I am I'm trying to get back into my morning workout. So I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna run.
Right?
I'm gonna come. Yes, I am.
Yeah. So it's early. I get it. It's like 6 in the morning for you.
Yeah. But maybe you'll motivate me to get out for my run.
That's
tomorrow.
what we do. That's
See?
the whole point of it. Is we make coffee, we take our medicines, we make sure that you're drinking and hydrating, and you take your medicines, and then you go get ready for the day.
That's
it.
This is a true public service, and I am really excited to be a part of it. Thank you, Gnome. Jim, my very favorite dirt wizard.
Yay!
Oh, this is so much fun. I hadn't realized how much I'd missed doing wilderness adventures until we were here this evening, and this was I have missed doing that quite a lot. So this is really, really cool. I really enjoy those. So this was really neat. And hill giants, nothing. It's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. It's just a few hill giants. But it was glorious. I loved the RP and everything tonight as well, and it's really cool. And very glad to be here. But as for me, who am I? I'm Jim Ryan. I am Other Doc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find links to my various things and game signups and what have you. On my Twitch channel, I do lots of different games. I lean toward indie games more often than not. But the next place that folks will see me, will be this Thursday afternoon, where I'm going to be over on Encounter Roleplay, where we've just started a short campaign of Deadlands Noir that I'm running, that's set in the Dust Bowl region, Dreams of Dust. Kicked off pretty well last week, and we're going to a second session this week. Thursday night, back on my channel, guest MC Ryan is running The Sprawl, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse cyberpunk game. On Friday night on my channel, normally we do this Sunday nights, but we had some internet issues this past Sunday, so we're trying again this Friday night to continue our game of Dark Matter, Ghosts of Saltmaw, Ghosts of Saltmarsh in Space. With GM Alyssa, who is wonderful. And then, of course, Saturday nights I run Invisible Sun. Sunday afternoons I run one-shots. This coming Sunday afternoon, the one shot is going to be Paranoia. Heaven help me. I need to cast that. I need to start that process today, so I'm going to be doing that. After I get off tonight, get off here tonight, sort of figure that out. That is. And so that's it for this week. And of course, Mondays, I'm here. Thanks you so much.
Awesome.
This was great.
What about
Thank
you,
you, Jim.
Allison?
I am just happy to be here, honestly. I have so much fun getting to do this with all of you. I'm excited for what is in store for you. And I don't just mean the Hill Giants. Y'all are persistent. I did not expect you to be this persistent with them, but I'm sure it'll pay off. I'm sure, somehow, probably.
We're heading in the same direction anyways. We might as well
Travel as a group, safety in numbers.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what else to say other than thank you. Thanks to our audience. Thanks to Key and Lauren for having us here on the channel. Thanks to all of you for being such amazing role players. And they're going to be talking about all the other things that I've been anyway, so I'm just going to let them do it. And I will see you all next week.
Awesome. So, yes, personal stuff, Key?
Yeah, personal stuff.
Woo.
I'm Kienna. I'm the sweet of this channel. Y'all can find me over on Twitter at KiennaS. Best way to figure out what I'm doing. Come over the internet, doing social role-playing things, streaming, writing, shout to the void. I'm mostly just here, but I have a couple of channel announcements we'll touch on in a second. But for my personal stuff, I have a new game coming out soon on my itch.io. If I get my butt into action, it should be done by end of this week. So I'm super excited to be releasing my first self-published game in like 6 months. So I'm excited for that. So make sure to check out my stuff there. And what about you, Lauren? Where can I find you?
Me, I'm That Salty Ginger on the Twitter. You can find me here running games, playing games. You can also find me on the Scraticus Academy running Urban Shadows, on Off the Table playing Cypher System, and on Nomadic's channel, like he said, for Tales from the Loop tomorrow. And I'm going to be part of Scarathon on the 31st in the closing slot. We may or may not be prominently featured somewhere on Twitch. It's going to be random, but it's going to be cool. We're raising money for St. Jude's. Yeah, that's it for me. What about, so our usual schedule, we have Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, Masks of Nyarlathotep, Pulp Cthulhu. Our Witcher season has come to a close, our Sunday morning game, but we'll be back in July. And otherwise we have Strange Invasion here. What's our special event coming up, Key?
Yeah, so on Saturday, we have a special one-shot that is for Asian Heritage Month that I am running. It is called We Built This City. It is a cyberpunk game in my custom-made Lady Hackbird system. It is the first time I am ever using this. It's the first time anyone is ever seeing this. I'm a little terrified, but I'm really excited to be running it and to be celebrating some awesome Asian American creators in the TTRPG space. We have Daniel Kwan from Asian Represent. We have Lemon and Honey Co. We have Ninja Penguin AM. And we also have HTT Paladin, who are going to be playing this game. And we have a whole bunch of cool things that we're going to be giving away during that stream as well, including a dice bag from Danny. Yogani, and copies of the Unbreakable,
Yes.
Unbreakable anthology, which is all Asian D&D adventures, a bunch of other stuff too, which we'll be announcing really shortly. So please make sure to join us on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern or 12:30 p.m. Pacific. I'm super excited for it. It's been a really quiet Asian Heritage Month, and especially with the past few events and a lot of rise in violence against Asian Americans and Asians in basically everywhere. This is kind of a great way to celebrate all of these amazing people and celebrate the heritage and all that fun stuff. So super excited for that. That's basically the major channel announcement, but we should go through our normal stuff.
Yes.
I'd like to give a shout out to our wonderful sponsors. First off, to Roll20. They are a virtual tabletop of choice. They help to bring together gamers across whatever distance and time zones and all that stuff. We are part of the Spotlight program, so please go check them out, give them some love, as well as love to other Spotlight creators who are also creating awesome things in the TTRPG space. Another shout out to our other sponsor, Dice Envy. They help make all those pretty click-clacks and physical dice. If you use the code SaltySweet, all caps, one word, you get 10% off of your order. So no better time to order some pretty new stuff, whether that's acrylic or metal or wood. And also, yes, there's a contest going on for affiliates.
We want to win.
You know, if we want to win.
Buy dice. Use our code.
Yes.
Is this convincing?
Wink wonk.
Wink wonk.
And if you ever miss an episode or want to rewatch one, we've got a YouTube channel. I usually upload Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays for a regular series, and whatever I feel like for our other one-shots or video game streams. And speaking of those, make sure to follow us on Twitter and here on Twitch. Make sure to know when we go live for things. We announce when we go live for our regular series or when we decide to impromptu do some video games. We just started Resident Evil 2 recently, so we'll be continuing that at some point. So keep up with us there and get more information about the upcoming stream on Saturday. Yeah, I think I covered it mostly.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone who has followed and subbed and donated, all that stuff.
Sub badges are coming. Get hyped.
Sub badges are coming. We're really excited to reveal those soon. Again, everything here goes directly to the channel, upkeep, keep the lights on here, and also eventually to regularly pay our cast members because we want to appreciate their time and all that stuff in a concrete manner. That is money.
That is money. All right. I think we can wait by.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We'll see y'all next week. If you don't catch us on the channel before then, have a great rest of your night, everyone.
Bye.